You are ready, Master.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. We are here, DTT, and let's continue with Master YongHua's Chanchi instructions.
Stand up. We're not going to.
Each of you, please rise, put your hands together, and contemplate. Follow my invocation as we sincerely extend our invitation. State your Dharma names individually.
Invite Triple View and Direction to come with us. Say your Dharma names.
Therefore, we should make vows in our cultivation. Anyone can make any vow they wish. Today is the day when our fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha attained enlightenment. Making a vow on this day in memory of Shakyamuni Buddha. So Shakyamuni Buddha will certainly rejoice. So today, if anyone would like to make their vows, come over here, kneel down, offer an incense stick, and then speak your vows.
Today is document.
Let's first examine the questions. Do you all not have any questions? Or do you have questions but are afraid to ask?
So do you have questions but you don't dare talk about them?
I still remember someone asking me before. No questions? Okay. This will start a new section.
Okay, we stop there, then we'll go back to the prior section. Okay, continuing. Yes, there are a couple of questions right now. YouTube, go ahead.
Thank you, Master. We do have a question in YouTube from Cordelia. Emitofuo, Master, every time we attend a refuge ceremony, is there a chance we get new or more Dharma protectors? Thank you, Emitofuo.
You might. Every time there are more Dharma protectors attending the assembly, especially the three refuges ceremonies, so you never know. Maybe the new ones come and they like your fruit offering on the altar, and they may just adopt you. Okay. Similarly, they come and maybe they like someone else offering better flowers than you. So it depends, okay? But typically it could happen, yes. Go first.
Emitofuo, Master. So recently I have realized that when people agree with me in something, in my mind, it's like I praise them. But when someone disagrees with me, in my mind, I tend to judge them a lot. Like, for example, last week with my coworkers, we had to decide the design of a product. And some of my coworkers were in favor of my idea, and other ones were against my idea and choosing another idea, and I kept kind of judging the ones that were against my idea. So, and that also makes me to be, I don't react to it a lot, but makes me to be kind of like tense with those coworkers. So do you have any advice on how to avoid these kind of thoughts?
Well, you're aware of it, so don't get tense.
Yeah, but I don't do it intentionally. It's like I try to be nice with them, but I feel I'm tense.
Okay. I don't know about you, but I personally prefer it when people disagree with me and criticize me. I feel that personally I learn more from people who disagree with me and criticize me because they are presenting a different perspective that's different from me, that I don't have. And so I appreciate it. Whereas the people who like me and praise me, actually, most of the time, I'm really kind of tune them out, because they're giving me no more information. Okay? So it's the nature of your ego, that everyone's ego that doesn't like to be criticized. When I first started, I didn't like to be criticized either because I was insecure. I was unsure of myself. But after being criticized and many people disagree with me, and after discussing back and forth, I realized that over the years they're confused. And that's why it helped me understand that it helped me actually, number one, not be bothered by them. And then eventually I grew to the point where I'm more interested in not only about being criticized, but also the fact that when people offer me different angles, different perspective, it's important to me, it's interesting to me to see where people are coming from that I wasn't aware of before. So, understandably, most of us feel insecure and offended because of the disagreement. But professionally in your field, you're better off when you learn to embrace the disagreement and the criticism, okay? Because it allows you to present your information, your perspective to them, okay? In a different way to them, okay? So eventually, I hope that you'll be able to embrace criticism and people who disagree with you because it's beneficial. Okay? In an organization, one of the most dangerous things in companies, in temples, and so forth is groupthink. It's the death of innovation. It's the death of progress. It's a counter progress when everyone agrees. Okay, so as a manager, I always make sure that I would encourage disagreement or encourage people to debate it out. Okay, and so. You have to learn to embrace disagreements and criticism, okay? Your current reaction is normal for most people, but eventually you will be better at it. All right? Good luck to you. You too.
Thank you, Master. We have a question from somebody who asked a question last night, and I think they are explaining more of what they meant. This is from Razvan 1040. First, they say, please explain emptiness if you don't mind. Then they go on. Why is the ultimate goal of Buddhism happiness? People like to be happy of something today, but tomorrow they will get bored and want something else. So is there something else beyond happiness?
Yes, that's correct. Emptiness is something that you will experience as your wisdom unfolds itself. Okay, so in the Buddhist practices, this is not often explained enough, is we help you experience emptiness. Emptiness, first, is just a concept for most people, but from our perspective and our temples and our group, we talk about emptiness, but actually, more importantly, we help you experience emptiness. Emptiness is meant for you to experience. It's not meant to be explained. When people only dwell on explaining emptiness, then these people, namely the scholars, for example, they talk about emptiness, they really don't know what emptiness really is. Emptiness is indescribable if you really understand what it really is, really what it really means. It's beyond words. And therefore, what we try to do for you is to help you induce this state of emptiness in your mind. Okay? And when that happens, and this is related to the second question about happiness, when that happens, you will experience not only the state of emptiness in your mind, but also a feeling called bliss. This bliss here is a natural occurrence when you experience emptiness. All right? And therefore, it is incorrect to say that in Buddhism we are striving to seek happiness. We don't, because you're right. Happiness, as defined by worldly people, happiness is actually suffering in Buddhism. Okay? Because happiness, let me put it simple terms for you. When people are happy, they become attached. This happiness that worldly people talk about is actually causes attachment. Okay? And so, for example, invariably, every single person who says, I'm happy, the regular people, ordinary people, when they say they're happy, actually what they're implying is that I am attached to this thing that makes me happy. And this attachment will grow and grow. Okay, and therefore this happiness actually will become unhappiness. It will become suffering. And that's why in Buddhism we don't seek happiness at all. Okay? Happiness is something we naturally experience when someone is nice to us, our loved one praise us, adore us. It's a natural form of happiness that we experience, but it's not the goal of Buddhism. We don't reject it, but we don't need to seek it either. All right, anything else? Yeah, again, unfortunately, when scholars talk about happiness, when scholars talk about emptiness, they don't know what it really means at all. And this emptiness here will change and will evolve as the more you become better with your skills, cultivation skills. All right. All right. Here we are back on slide 51 here. So he say this three refuges ceremony is run. He's doing the ceremony for his disciples, and so they stood up and invited the Triple Jewel, the 10 directions, to come, stating their names, and then not sure what vows he was talking about here, but typically in Mahayana refuge ceremonies, after you become Buddhist disciples, after the master conferred upon you the Buddhist substance, then we teach you to make vows, 4 great vows. Okay, and this is a good chance also to make vows as well, because you are making vows in the presence of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas and the Dharma protectors, and if you do it right, they remember your vows and they will help you with your vows. Yes, in the back.
Yeah, Master, Jewel Mountain Temple has a question.
Jewel Mountain Temple?
Yes.
Okay, Jewel Mountain Temple.
마스터 질문 들리세요? 네, 마스터 질문 있습니다. 남편 친구 아버님이 어제 돌아가셔서 어쩔 수 없이 문상을 가게 됐어요. 원래 문상 잘 안 가는데 워낙 가까이 지내고 저희 부부한테 기여도가 높은 사람이라서 한 수 없이 가야 되는데 지금 법문 끝나고 갈 거예요. 장례식장에서 저희가 주의할 사항이라든지 뭐 해야 되는 만트라나 연불이 있으면 조언을 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다.
Hello, Master. I have one question. My husband's friend's father died yesterday, so we need to go to their funeral after this Dharma talk. And my husband and I want to know, is there something we need to be cautious about in the funeral, or is there any mantras that we need to do?
Go to funerals and recite the Buddha's name constantly.
장례식장에 가셔서
Good luck to you. If you get out of the where is this? Is this funeral home or temple, house, or where are you going?
들리세요? 들리세요? 네. 장례식장이 대학병원 장례식장입니다.
It's a university hospital funeral.
University.
The hospital run by a university.
This is a room at the university hospital?
Yeah, funeral home and hospital, university hospital.
You have funeral services at the hospital? I'm curious.
Yes.
Eh? How interesting. Do we allow that here in the country? In our country, we allow, where people come over. This is like a formal funeral service or just a private thing?
맞어. 그게 아니라, 그러니까 한국의 대학교에, 그러니까 고려대학교에서 병원도 운영하거든요. 지금 제가 가야 되는 거는 고려대학교 장례식장이에요.
So, Master, it's not like that. In Korea, there's Korea University, and this Korea University runs a hospital, and we are going there right now.
So it's not a funeral?
They run a funeral home in their hospitals.
So you're going to the hospital. Why do you say go to the funeral?
In the hospital, they run a funeral.
So you actually have funeral services at hospitals? That's my original question. I was just curious.
네, 맞습니다, 마스터. 맞습니다.
Yes, that's right, Master.
So there's a funeral service that's allowed to be conducted at university hospital, yeah? So is there like an area, like a hall where you actually do that? Is it commonplace in Korea? I'm curious. You've been there, you were there 3 years, you never know? No one ever told you? You don't remember?
I never been in the case of a funeral service run by university, but I think like they in the hospital and there people they're dead there, and then they organize that service for the
in a hospital?
Yeah, in the hospital run by that university, Master.
Oh, okay. Do we do that here? We do? Wow, I'm out of touch. I only go to funeral homes. 5.
I said, it's just a room there, and then, we you go over there and praying for that person. But it's not like, they bring the body there for you to do it. It's the same thing like in the airport. They have one in the airport too. Every single airport, big one, yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, when you go to those places, just recite the Buddha's name constantly. And a tip for you, both of you are sensitive enough now, so when you go there and you pay your respect and so forth, when you leave, see if you feel any strange things riding on you. Okay? If that's the case, then then it happens more often than people realize. That sometimes you go there, especially to these funeral things. Sometimes the invisible beings, especially ghosts and so forth, will jump on you when they like you or something. Okay? So
마스터 안 그래도
don't be afraid.
마스터 들리세요, 스님? 들리세요? 아, 네. 그래서 지금 사실 한국에서는 어떤 게 있냐면 장례식에 갔다가 바로 집에 가지 말고 한 3군데 밖에 들려서 백화점이나 사람 많은 데 들리라는 얘기가 있는데 장례식장에서 아미타불 연보를 하고 좀 딴 데 돌아다니다가 이렇게 집으로 귀가하면 좀 안전하지 않을까요?
So in Korea, there's a saying that after you visit funerals, you don't go to your houses straight. They tell you to visit 3 places before you go to your house, like a department store or anywhere there's many peoples. So if we go around somewhere else, and then if we go to our home, then maybe we're safe.
It makes sense. Yeah, just in case you pick up a invisible being who jumps on you, like play horsey, like they like to play horsey with you. So it makes sense. It's a pretty good Korean wisdom. You go to crowded places, department stores, restaurants, okay, and do they suggest you go to massage parlors or public baths? No? You go to places where there are other people, so maybe the ghost can jump off your back to someone else, and you're free, and you can go home safely. But it's no guarantee that's going to happen. You could bring the ghost back home because they happen to like your perfume. Are you wearing perfume today? I'm talking to your husband. 아니요.
네, 아닙니다.
Yes?
No.
Okay. Good. Don't wear anything to draw attention to yourself. Okay. Good luck to you. I hope we see you again. Anyone else? We joke about it, but actually it's a pretty serious matter. When you go to these places, be very careful. Recite the Buddha's name. Okay? And by all means, do not bring any children to those places. All right, anyone else? I thought there was a goal force question or no? Okay, no questions. Okay, so in our typical Mahayana 3 refuge ceremony, we would after you are conferred the Buddhist precept, the Buddhist substance that is given to you by the master, okay, to help you and protect you, then you'll be taught to make the 4 vast vows. So the four vast vows of living beings will be boundless. I vow to save them all. Afflictions are endless. I vow to cut them off. Dharma doors are infinite. I vow to study them all. And the Buddha's way is unsurpassed. I vow to accomplish it. Okay, those are the four vast vows in Mahayana, that ceremonies that we then encourage our disciples to take. But on the other hand, again, if you wish to make more vows, and this is a very good time to make it because the many Buddhas will be there to bear witness to your vows. And when they bear witness to your vows, they will invisibly support you and help you accomplish them. Even in the future lifetimes, you might have forgotten about your vows, they will come and remind you. Okay? Today is the day when our fundamental teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha, attained enlightenment. So this is Enlightenment Day. So this is a very auspicious day to have this refuge ceremony. And so this is a good time to make a vow. In honor of the Buddha Enlightenment Day, and therefore the Buddha would be very, very happy. And make a vow, kneel down, offer incense, and then speak your vows. And so this is Master YongHua taught. This is in addition, extra to our typical three refuge ceremony. At the end of the three refuge ceremony, before they did the transference of merit and virtue of the ceremony, Master YongHua taught them, they said, now today you can make vows in front of me. Okay? All right, that's the end of it, of that section. And then let's first examine questions. You don't have any questions, but afraid to ask. Okay? So you see, I'm glad to see this because when I left the home life, he didn't do this anymore. When I was a layperson, attended his Dharma talk maybe once or twice, and I remember how he allowed people to ask questions. Okay, but after months later, when I decided to become a left-form person or novice, he allowed me to become a novice, then there's no more questions. There's no more time to ask questions at all, which is annoying. And so I'm glad to see this. Master YongHua allowed people to ask questions. Okay. Next section.
Investigating you, are we supposed to use the word doer, or we should perhaps use
你要不用实验，他谁又会跑出来，就会有个谁。
If you do not use who will come out again? Then there will be a who.
你用了谁呀？因为你找这个谁，根本就没有一个谁。
When you use a who, it's because you're looking for this who. Fundamentally, there's no who in the first place.
那么你要找一个谁，一定要找得着这个谁。这叫破本苍蝇。
If you want to find a who, you must be able to find this who. This is called breaking through your fundamental investigation.
把你本来那个苍呢破了，也就是以前我讲那个打破黑气谱。
Breaking through your fundamental investigation. That's what I referred to smashing the black lacquered barrel before.
What's the Chinese word for that? Pronounce it for me. This 黑破打破黑
气洞 sorry 打破黑气筒
Qi is lacquer?
Yes.
Is this an expression in Chinese or in the Huatou school or what? I never seen it before. Only because I don't understand Chinese. Okay, look it up for me. Thank you. Next.
也就是开悟。
In other words, this is enlightenment.
因为本来有一念都是妄想。
Because fundamentally, having just a single thought is false thinking.
你那么参这个谁呀，也是个妄想。不过用这个妄想，把其余的妄想就都战胜了。
You investigating this who is also a false thought. However, by using this false thought, you can overcome all other false thoughts.
所以呢，就单单的用这一个水字。
Therefore, just use the single character who.
如果你要不用，谁也不用呢，那落一个空亡，那叫空亡。落空亡啊，这是。
If you do not use it, not even using who, then you fall into the trap of obstinate emptiness, which is called obstinate emptiness.
就是完空啊，没有什么用。
Falling into obstinate emptiness, that is to say, obstinately attaching to emptiness, serves no purpose. It's of no use.
人这个参禅就是参到这个水穷山尽，水也没有，山也没有。
In Chan meditation, one investigates until reaching the state of the end of mountain and water, where there is neither water nor mountains.
Again, check this expression as well. This is Chan instruction, Chan Hua Tou instruction, or what? I apologize. This is the first I heard of it. Only because I didn't understand Chinese back then. Continue. 水穷, 山尽.
In this case, 山穷水尽 is 水穷山尽, 山穷水尽 is a common expression.
Used by who?
Describing you do something until the end of it.
Okay, thank you. Next.
也就是我以前说那个百尺竿，到那个百尺竿头，到那个百尺竿头，再往前迈一步，你看看怎么样？
This is also what I said before about the 100-foot pole, reaching the top of the pole and then taking one more step forward to see what happens.
这个百尺竿头，再进一步，也就是参禅之道。
Atop a 100-foot pole, take a step further. That is investigate the principle of Chan.
There's no way for us to recover this thing? Can we use AI to retrieve this? Okay, not important. This section doesn't impress me. Next.
Okay. Let me try to fast forward.
所以古来的人呢，昼夜精进，也就因为差这么一点点，才要精进。
So the ancients practiced vigorously day and night because they were just a little short of their goal. And that's why they needed to exert themselves vigorously.
要不差那么一点点呢，就可以睡觉，可以怎么样懒惰都可以。
If they were not lacking that little bit, then they could sleep. They could be lazy in any way they wanted.
你一点都不差，你就不要这么辛苦。
If you're not lacking at all, you don't have to work so hard.
Next section, right? Hang on.
I think it's related.
Okay, let's backtrack. Go over this thing here. His Chan instructions. Okay. So he's gonna explain, give some instructions about the Hwato. Okay, and the Koreans probably are very excited about this. They don't look excited. This is so sad. What is the matter with you? Oh. Who's not fasting? Who just had dinner? Doesn't look happy either. Okay. Master YongHua's predecessor is the one who popularized, who advocated this Hwato, because Master Yun became enlightened by practicing the Hwato. He started at the age of 19. And he became enlightened at the age of 53, according to Master YongHua. Okay, 19, Master Yun left home life and so forth. After his parents forced him to get married, he did, and he ran away. And then he basically practiced on his own. Okay, and from what we know, eventually he practiced the Hwato until he became enlightened. All right? So the Hwato is a very, very important Dharma door in Chinese Buddhism. However, Master Yun practice of the Hwato actually is he advocated this who's reciting the Buddha's name as a form of Hwato investigation. And it's quite different from the Korean or Japanese and so forth. Let me simply say it for you. It doesn't matter whatever Dharma door you're practicing, as far as I'm concerned, as long as you become enlightened. Okay, that's all that matters, number one. Number two, I also look at your Dharma door and see how far you've come. What's your highest level of enlightenment using the Hwato? Okay, very much like to me when I go for when I choose university, I want to see what is the highest degree that I can attain from this university. All right? And so similarly, for me, when I practice any Dharma door, I want to see the teachers who advocate this, how far they've got. Okay? From what I know, from what I've seen, the way Master YongHua taught Huatou, I don't think he practiced Huatou at all. But Huatou, at the time, this is 30, 20 years ago, when I first started, was quite popular, quite a big deal, if you will. In Mahayana, the Chinese were enamored with the Huatou, and the Hinayana people, at the very same time when I started, the Hinayana people were enamored with mindfulness meditation. Okay? Mahayana, we don't teach mindfulness meditation at all. Okay? So that's why you can tell right away when now you look at the way that meditation is taught. When it's mindfulness meditation, it's Hinayana. When when people are taught Huatou, like in Korea, then you know it's Mahayana meditation. Okay, that's the origin of the method of practice. All right. Furthermore, Master Xu Yun advocated again using this Huatou, who's reciting the Buddha's name. I think Xie Xu Nianfo or something like that. Nianfo Shu Shei. There you go. Nianfo Shu Shei in Chinese. It's actually more compact than English. Okay, and you can investigate this using Chinese or any language you like, a translation you like. You can also investigate this phrase, who's reciting the Buddha's name, in English as well. It works, by the way. Okay? Because I know of someone who practiced Huatou in English who actually broke through. Okay? And told me about it. Anyway, and so when you practice, when you investigate this Huatou, who's reciting the Buddha's name, eventually, it's as per Master YongHua's instructions, it says this is, you see, right here. Do you understand this section at all, whether it's in English or Chinese or Vietnamese or Korean? Do you understand this? Of course not. You have no idea what he's talking about. Yeah? Okay? And that's exactly my reaction when I heard his explanation of the Huatou. And personally, I'm sorry, boss, I don't like it. Okay? Because I was confused by this Dharma door. It was so revered, so admired by so many people, and the Chinese were telling each other this is the most advanced Dharma door in China and so forth. Bullocks. You don't know what bullocks is. It's a British bad word. Yes, JC. Bullocks. Look it up. BULLOCKS. Don't be so one-dimensional. Jeez.
Hello, Master. I have a question. So when you said somebody who did the Huatou in English broke through, did he go attain big enlightenment too, or?
Of course.
What enlightenment?
Okay. Understand bullocks now? Huh? Bullocks. There used to be a department store called Bullocks, but they went out of business. No? Okay, never mind. Now everyone is looking at the phone. They're not interested in listening to the lecture anymore. Good. Let's take a break. Are you done? Yeah, look at that. Look how serious they are. Look at, you see, you understand bullocks now? Huh? Okay, bullocks. And so he says, you do not use the who will come out again. There will be a who. Chan instructions are supposed to help you know what to do. This is my perspective. When I tell you to meditate, the instruction has to be so clear to you. This is what you're supposed to do. Cross your legs. Anyone doesn't understand that? Whereas if you tell them, you do not use a who, but the who will come out again, there will be a who. Nonsense. Bullocks. And then if you use a who, it's because you're looking for this who. Fundamental is no who in the first place. This is correct. Okay, so far, now it begins to make sense. Until then, until this sentence here, before that, you can strike it. So you can throw it out. So because the instruction is nonsense, because it doesn't make sense to anyone. Maybe to him, but not to me. I still don't understand what he means here. Okay? I sort of do, but I'm claiming I don't. Okay? It's nonsense, because this is not how you give instructions. Is there a photo of him behind me? Good. Okay. I'm safe for tonight. Okay? And then, if you want to find a who, you must be able to find this who. Okay? This is not good instruction for Hato. Okay? You Koreans, you Chinese people, forget this. Okay? This is wrong. I don't like it. Okay? And this is called breaking through your fundamental investigation. Good. Learn this terminology. Okay? Po Ben Chan or Po Hua Tou. That's okay. Good expression. You need to know. Okay? So you ask them. If someone brags, says, I've been practicing Hua Tou. Like I met a Korean monk in Taiwan. He used to fly to Taiwan to attend to this temple here who have a big statue of Shakyamuni Buddha sitting in full lotus, okay? And they advocating Hua Tou practice, okay? And they would organize it every winter, and they would shut down. This is very Chinese. They shut down the temple and they investigate the Hua Tou for 100 days. Very impressive. I was there. I was brought there because this monk at the temple that I was staying at heard that I was Master Shenhua's disciple. Left from disciple. It's not true, but somehow he thought that I was his Dharma heir, whatever. So he brought me over to this temple who practiced Hua Tou only, okay, Taiwanese temple, and they're known to practice every single year, every single winter, 100 days. And I was there, and they introduced me to this Korean Sunni who would go there and practice with them. And okay, so they all showed me, introduced me to all the big shots there in the temple. Of course, at the time, I was like second dhyana. I'm pretty sure they're not impressed with me, but they were impressed with my my name, where I came from, and so they gave me tea, brought out all the big shots at the temple, even brought out the Korean Sunnim, who says, he comes and practices with us. And he sits every day for 10 hours, every single day with us. Very vigorous Korean Sunims. So, because I knew a little bit about the Huatou, and it's funny why all the big shots of the temple had to come out and look at me, take a look at me, okay? And they still tried to impress me. It's so weird, okay? And at the time, I was looking for a temple because Master YongHua was dead already. And I was not wanted at his temples. So I was looking for a better temple, I thought. So going to Huatou temple was so cool. But I was disappointed. They were trying to impress me, all of them. And then this Korean, they even tried to use a Korean monk who could sit for 10 hours every single day to impress me. So I looked at the Korean monk, I said, oh, so wonderful, you can sit every day for 10 hours. That's impressive. Anyone can sit 10 hours every day here? Try that and see. It's not that easy. And then, so I look at the Korean monk, I said, so it's so wonderful you can sit for 10 hours. Have you given rise to doubt yet? And the Korean monk, the face turned white. And he babbled something, and then he made an excuse and left. See, a lot of people, my point being a lot of Taiwanese, a lot of Chinese, a lot of Korean, they preach Huatou, and they said this is a very powerful Dharma door, but they don't know how to do it. Okay, dokie? But Master YongHua said this is a Chanpo. So you break through this investigation. Go first.
Emitofuo Master, so do you know which practice did Master YongHua do?
Certainly not a Huatou, because his Huatou instructions really suck. You ask me, I throw in a garbage pan. From what I heard from his disciples, he became enlightened by reciting the Great Compassion Mantra. He's a specialist in mantra practices. That's why he is so knowledgeable. His mantras are very, very powerful. His recitation is very, very powerful. Okay? All right? And so this is breaking through the fundamental investigation, learn this terminology, you should listen to it, okay? Breaking through your fundamental investigation, smashing the black lacquer barrel. Anyone? What's this Chinese thing? This Ta Po Xi Qi Dong. What's that? Is that a Huatou or a chanting? Or, I'm curious. When I heard this tape a long, long time ago, I couldn't understand anything anyway. So now is my chance to learn. What does he say? Okay, let us know. Okay? It's important to hear these concepts and these words so that you won't be shocked when when you hear the first time. You sort of have to wonder, but so it's good for us to hear these things. All right, these terminologies. Okay, he says, break through your fundamental investigation. Master YongHua says, I refer to smashing the black lacquer barrel. Okay, and somewhere else. Yeah, in other words, this is enlightenment. Okay, but fundamental But fundamentally, having just a single thought is false thinking, correct. Investigating who is just a false thought, correct. However, using this false thought, you can overcome other false thoughts, correct. Okay? Therefore, just use a single character who, incorrect. If you don't use it, not even who, then you fall into the trap of obstinate emptiness, okay, 顽空, so he's, I don't know what he's talking about here, but this probably refers to some of the phases that they go through when they investigate the YongHua. Okay, I never use YongHua because thanks to Master YongHua, I was so confused by his instructions. So I gave up after a few months. It's just like everyone else. I said, this is the most powerful Dharma door in Chan, therefore I should practice it. Okay, yeah. When you hear that, you become greedy. Don't be greedy, it's not. It's not the most powerful Dharma door. Why do I say that? Because in our Yang tradition, it's never was the primary Dharma door at all. Okay? Actually, this is sort of to me, because from what I've seen, my Shishu, the people who practiced it, all of them, level is not high enough. Because it has limitations. Okay? All right. So, good for you to hear about this obstinate emptiness. Okay? And that's not a word only, but you hear of this eventually when you get there and you get stuck, maybe I remind you. Okay? Following the obstinate emptiness that is too obstinately attaching the emptiness serves no purpose, is of no use. Okay, that's correct. In Chan meditation, one investigates Chan until reaching the state of the end of mountain and water, where it's neither water or mountain. It's not wrong. But it's not necessary. I don't like the Chinese style explaining this. Okay, let them. It's okay. Okay, and the water, mountain water, is not a very effective way of teaching people how to practice meditation. But if it works for the Chinese, good for them. And this is also what I said before about 100-foot pole, reaching the top of the pole and then taking one more step forward to see what happens. This is a beautiful, beautiful Chinese Chan analogy. Okay, the Chan practice in Chinese, this is the traditional Chan practice explanation. Practicing Chan is like climbing up 100-foot pole. Okay, no climbing apparatus. You have to use your hand, your feet only. No rubber bands in your feet to help you, hang on to the pole. Okay, no aid at all. And so the Chan practice is like not necessarily YongHua, but the Chan practice, all forms of Chan methods, or Dharma doors are like, they all involve whatever Dharma door you use, whether YongHua or whether it's reciting great compassion mantra, it's like climbing up a 10-foot pole. Okay? And when you get to the very top, you can see it's very, very hard. 100-foot pole. Sorry, not 10. A 100-foot pole. You climb, you slide down, up and down, down, down. Your hand gets very tired. I've been assembling a cable machine today to finalize it. Now it's ready. I had to push the thing, and now my fingers are so tired. I can't even put my palms together. Look. Okay. So anyway, so as the analogy, this is very, very beautiful, very profound. You climb up a 100-foot pole, you get up there, and then you still have, when you get up there, you say, oh, I made it. Oh, this is so fantastic. Okay? And then you have to take a leap into emptiness. You get up there, okay? And then the next instruction is take a step. Take a step. Step. So it's like today, all of you in our Chan retreat, and you find yourself getting up to a 100-foot pole, okay? We're not done yet. Don't cry victory. You still have to take a step. It's beautiful. I love the analogy. Yeah. Yes, you too.
Thank you, Master. We have a comment here from Zihong Zhao. The black lacquer barrel, according to the Buddha Light Dictionary, refers to the ignorance of living beings, very hard due to accumulation through kalpas. It also means to be in total darkness and cannot see anything. This is an analogy to mean the state of transcending all differences and duality.
Doesn't help. Okay. My interest, okay, I'm very, very, very particular. We don't have a lot of time. We need to catch up to the Chinese. And if we follow suit, we imitate them, then we are centuries behind them. So I personally selectively find things that are useful. And it's useful to you because I'm more like you. I'm more Western educated like most of you. And therefore things have to make sense to me. It may make no sense. These things may make sense to the Chinese people and the Asian and so forth. But to me, I don't understand. Okay? So culturally, this concept of this black lacquer barrel doesn't help. I don't see anything in my education that connects me to it. That's why I dump it. Okay? Ignore it, because it may work for the Chinese, may work for the Asians, whatever, okay? You use it. But for us, I don't get it. It doesn't ring a bell. It doesn't. I don't connect to it. I don't have an affinity with this kind of concept. Okay? So ignore it. Okay? We cannot afford. We don't need to understand everything. Okay? Whatever works for us, we use it. If it doesn't work for us, dump it. Be merciless. Okay? Because this is a weakness of the Chinese and Asians. They have such a tradition. The culture is based on that. We don't have that constraint. So therefore, we should be free to pick and choose. Whatever works for us, the rest, dump it. Okay? Dump this. Okay? That's why who here, character who, okay. And mountain. Okay, this is an important concept. I want you to memorize this. I want you to understand the Chan training is that it's very hard because you have to climb up and you slip sliding away and you slide down and you don't give up and you keep on climbing and climbing. You have blisters, your hands are so tight, and so forth, and it's impossible thing, okay? And you keep at it, okay? And lo and behold, one of these days, all of a sudden, you're able to get to the top of the pole, and you say, wow, I made it. This is such a arduous thing. This is an incredible feat. And then, that's the nature of Chan, is that don't cry victory yet. You still have to step into the void. And that's a beautiful analogy for Chan practice.
Yes, my master.
Okay, and that's again. This is how Master YongHua explained it and so forth. Okay, that's a great thing. Other than that, I feel that his Huatou instructions are not helpful. I would dump them. It worked for some others, but it didn't work for me. Okay. Maybe in the future there will be some Chan teachers who successfully practice Huatou and teach you. Absolutely, go for it. Okay, but to me, too slow, too confusing, too low. I'm a very tough customer. If you want me to follow you, you better tell me how far you're going to take me. If you can't take me very far, I won't follow you. So the ancients practice rigorously day and night because, okay, this is next section, right? Any questions? So it doesn't hurt for us to go and listen to Master YongHua's Huatou instructions. It's okay. But listen with one ear and don't take it seriously, is my advice to you. That's my experience. I would not teach Huatou the way he teaches Huatou. Okay? It's too confusing. Yes, go first.
Amitofuo Master, so how can I be more confident?
You will become more confident with time. Okay? Of course, when we all started out, we need to prove ourselves. So welcome the challenge. Welcome the opportunity to prove yourself. And if you're wrong, be very fast to admit you're wrong and learn from it. Don't be so stuck on being right. You're focusing on the wrong side of the equation. The process is for you to contribute and try your best. Okay? Not that you have to prove to everyone you're right. It's irrelevant to me whether you're right or wrong. From above, I assure you, they only look at, does it get done? How quickly does it get done? How cheaply does it get done? Okay? Then they start paying attention to you. Until you produce results, you're nothing. That's life. Okay? So don't worry about people praising you or criticizing you. Worry about learning, worry about producing, and getting things done. That's all. Okay? And with that, you become confident because you know your value, your track record clearly demonstrates your competence. Okay? Anyone else? Continue. Yeah, I'm not done yet. He's not done yet. So the ancient practice vigorously day and night because they are just a little short of their goals. That's why they need to exert themselves vigorously. Okay? Okay. Lacking that little bit, then they could sleep, they could be lazy in any way they wanted. Okay, Chinese maybe. Lacking it all, they have to work so hard. Okay, Chinese person. This is how, in his days, in his culture, they motivated the people. I don't motivate people that way. I usually threaten them, or it works better for us. No? Okay, again, we have to do something more effective than the Chinese so that we can surpass them. If you follow suit, then all you're going to do is come up from behind them. Okay? And it's not going to happen because they are like decades ahead of us. Especially Master Hsuan disciples are decades ahead of us. And we follow his same instructions. That's what he gave his disciples. I'm sure they're confused like hell by his Huatou instructions. Good for us. Okay? That's why I tell you, ignore it. Okay? Yeah. Not helpful. But so if we follow, we learn from him because I want to pick and choose whatever works better for us, for our times, our culture. And do not blindly follow his Chinese instructions. I'm here, my job is to parse them out for you, okay, so that we keep the good stuff and throw out the bad stuff so that we can surpass the Chinese speed. Chinese is too inefficient. Many of the Chinese instructions are confusing for us. Like half of the instructions here on the Huatou is confusing. None of you gets it. None of his disciples got it. Okay? All right. Next.
This day has passed. Our lives are thus shorter, like a fish with little water. What joy is there? Great assembly, let's be diligent and vigorous, as if rescuing our own heads, which are on fire. Be mindful of impermanence and avoid being lax.
Okay, I think we stop and discuss this verse from Universal Worthy Bodhisattva a little. Okay. And so he says, so he's talking about the fact that You should be very vigorous. This is the spirit of the Chan practice. The Chan Chi is, first and foremost, be vigorous. Work harder and harder and harder. This is an opportunity for you to drop everything and work harder and push yourself more and more and more. Okay? And that's the spirit behind this. We're not talking about 10 hours. I'm talking about you pushing yourself. Just push yourself more and more and more. Okay? And so my philosophy is that because we're weak, because we are too soft because of our culture. Okay, so we are so blessed. We have a lot of things that we take for granted. Okay, whereas in the Chinese temples, usually in those great Chinese temples, I never been to one. Lucky for me. Although many Chinese and Taiwanese monks would go to these places, or lay people went to these places regularly, like 1,000-year-old Chan temples, and would practice for 100 days and so forth, year after year after year. And then they came to my temple because it turns out that because of COVID, they couldn't go anymore to China, so they went to our temples because we were practicing, okay? And we weren't afraid of the COVID. And no one died. No one who came to our temple died. Actually, many of them got better from the COVID for free. And so I met such people, and even before the COVID as well. And they were going nowhere. Because I look at their level, I said, well, you've been going to this great Chan temples that has a history to have, was founded by patriarchs and so forth. And this is, after several years, and this is all you got, then to me, it's a waste of time. His life's too short. And I'm quoting Universal Worthy Bodhisattva verses, okay? Life is too short. You cannot afford to waste several years of your life getting so little, okay? And it's sad for me to see that many monks and nuns, because of this great Chinese Chan tradition, they would advertise it and get the lay people to support them. I remember particularly this monk here, this ex-disciple of Master YongHua, and then he went to become a monk under Master Sheng Yi, who was a sixth ground Bodhisattva in Hong Kong. He died already, and he's very proud of it. He was. This is very early. This is like 20 years ago, and he's very proud of it. That he's so vigorous in practice the meditation, but he really didn't get very far. Why not? Because when we were talking, he's always was interrupted by phone calls from his sponsors. He says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I need to talk to this person here. This is a doctor so and so who's been helping me go to China for 8 months." Okay, he's very vigorous. He can go to China and stay in the temple for 8 months, and so he got some help from these people who believed in supporting his practice. This is Chinese wisdom. Chinese wisdom is that during a Chanchi there, the Chanchi is a very, very big deal in Mahayana, in Chan, because you find a lot of people who will become enlightened. So therefore, they have plenty of support in China, in Chinese culture, in Taiwan, China, and so forth. And so wherever there's a temple that organizes Chanchi, you have a lot of support throughout the country. The country pours support into especially these big name Chan temples. And in fact, if you are a monk who originated from such Chan temples, then the lay people would roll out the red carpet and build a temple for you. And this is the Chinese wisdom and Taiwanese wisdom. And it turns out that and the rationale for that is because many traditionally at these places were through such practices, many Chinese practitioners became enlightened. And so when you support, you blindly support, you send in, like, say, a bag of rice, okay, to support the Chanchi, or send in some money to support the Chanchi, and at that temple, the big famous temple there, and at that temple, it's known that Master Xu Xun became enlightened there. So, so now with that track record, many Chinese Chan masters and international masters would try to go there, okay, because of that tradition, and they practiced there, and that's why the support it grew bigger and bigger, because if you can support someone, if you support the temple and someone became enlightened at that temple, at that session, as Chanchi, your blessings are incredible. Okay? And that's why there's so much support at those temples. And this is why this guy, this monk, I think he's Taiwanese monk, who's telling everyone that he goes to this big Chinese Chan temple, and that's why he got a lot of support. And so as we were talking, he kept on, excusing himself to answer his doctor, or he has a few doctors who sponsored him to go year after year on this practice. Okay? And if you go and practice Chan with this kind of attitude, you go nowhere. If you practice seeking enlightenment and you have to worry about money, continued support for your practice, you will not become enlightened. This is so fundamental in a Chan practice. When you practice Chan here, we take care of everything. You don't have to pay a dime. You don't have to worry about food. Okay? No, because it's our commitment to you that you come here and you practice. You don't have to worry about money. You don't have to worry about anything at all. Okay? In particular, in our modern times, this is a sickness, because out of necessity, you all have to worry about money, and that's why this is a fundamental reason why people don't become enlightened anymore. They have to calculate, see how much money they have, or they get out of this. That's wrong. Okay? After you finish here, we pay you nothing. You pay us nothing. We pay you nothing. with no money. Okay? And if we cannot afford to do anymore, we don't organize it anymore. And that's very important in a chanting. Okay? It's no charge, it's no money exchanged, no money expected from you, and you should expect no money from us either. It's no money. Okay? Absolutely not. That's a sickness nowadays. This is why if you go to a Chanchi and your mind is calculating and tabulating money, you will not become enlightened. Absolutely not. Never. And if at any point in time you feel that I am trying to pick your pocket, you should run away. Okay? I need you to understand it. We're doing this with no expectations whatsoever for gains, for profits, for recognition. You don't give a damn. Whether people praise us or criticize us, we don't give a damn. Is that clear? So if you do that for 1 week, 1 day, you're much better off. And that's important for you not to scheme to pick people's pockets, not to scheme to become famous. Without it, if you do that, you're not helping them. That's why nowadays there are very few places that are like that anymore. And particularly in the US, it's virtually non-existent. Okay? All right. So this Chanchi is a practice of vigor and universal worthy bodhisattva. This is a verse that we recite every night before we end our day of practice. We recite this verse. Beautiful, beautiful verse. The melody is so wonderful. And I used to recite this every night too. You sort of, so this is how the bodhisattva chose to motivate us. Okay? Universal worthy bodhisattva is a very important bodhisattva in our world because we based our cultivation on his 10 great vows that we recite in the morning ceremony. Okay? Those 10 great vows are the guidelines of our practice. So that's why we end the day with reciting this verse by saying that the day has passed and we are closer to death. And so it's like a fish with the water that's shrinking. And how can you possibly seek for joy? How could you waste time in going to a nice restaurant? Okay? No vigor, especially during a Chanqi. Chanqi? Excuse me? Okay? So, shame on you. So, don't be like a fish. You know, we are like a fish in which the water is shrinking, it's evaporating, and you're still seeking joy. That's the spirit, okay? So, Great Assembly. So we're all cultivating together now. Just because you have fun, okay? You're still part of the Great Assembly. Now let's go back to be diligent and vigorous, okay? Okay, so diligently, 精进 is be more vigorous. Okay, so this is a double vigor. That's redouble our efforts. I don't think they ever explained this. I just feel like talking to you this way because I'm inspired by some people who are having fun. Okay? So let's be doubly vigorous, as if we are trying to save our head that is burning. Okay? And nothing more important, our head, and is on fire right now. And always keep in mind, be mindful of impermanence, which is death. Our heads is on fire. Okay, I can't give you an analogy like you put oil on your hair because some of us no hair. So just imagine a head is on fire somehow, and so that is a reminder that death is imminent. If you don't do anything about it, death is imminent. And by all means, don't be lax. Not avoid. Don't be lax. This is a translation here. It's too Chinese. Okay, so that's what universal worthy reminds us every day. When we finish cultivating together, okay, this is what we recite as a verse. All right, time is up. Any questions? Oh, he's gonna explain this. How far did you go? Should I finish whatever you? Control.
We went.
Control.
We finished.
I have a new nickname for them. Hey, Control.
Slide 79.
79. Okay, so the verses are spoken by this Mahasattva Universal Worthy to exhort us in our cultivation. Okay, and next time he might go into it. Final questions? Okay, if not, thank you, and go back to your cultivation. I hope you become enlightened. What happened in the Way Mountain Temple? Huh? What's going on? Huh? What's going on in Way Mountain?
Master, we were applauding like crazy, but you couldn't hear us. You make such profound statements. The only thing we could do was stand up and give you a standing ovation at the end.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, good night, everyone. Thank you.